Hi everybody, it's Claire back with another art journal video, and in this one I am just having a play after watching again the Tim Holtz live. Yeah, I just got to say I hope the birds in the background aren't too distracting. It's quite warm in my art room. I've got the door open, and the birds are singing, which is really lovely. So I'm playing in the small craft journal, and I've just put a little bit of gesso on the page. And the reason I've done that is because I wanted the colours to be kind of as true as possible. And I thought that by putting a bit of white underneath, it might just help those to sing a bit better. So I'm starting off with barn door, and I am using a brayer. I did have to go in quite a few times to get this to, it's a sort of nice opaque covering, but it works really well. And then I'm just rolling the excess off my brayer onto a piece of spare card. So this colour is ripe persimmon. Persimmon. It's a really difficult one to say. Don't know why. I think I've overthought it now. And again, I'm just going to be blending each colour over the top, creating that kind of fun rainbow background. So I am cleaning my brayer in between each colour, just spraying a bit of water. Once I've got the excess off, then I just spray a bit of water on, and I'm just wiping it off on this bit of cloth that you can see at the front. So then I used wild honey, and then after that twisted citron. So pretty. And this one is tumbled glass. And then finally, I think I went in with Dusty Concord for the nice lilac-y purple colour on the end. I think, I don't know about you guys, but sometimes I get a bit stuck in a rut of doing the same thing. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, because sometimes when I sit down to have a play, obviously I want to just chill and empty my head. And so the comfort of reaching for something that you know and you know how it'll work is okay. But sometimes it's nice just to sit down with some new stuff and go, or even things that are not new, but they've just been sat on your shelf. And just to have a play and say, I wonder what will happen if. And watching that Tim Holtz live really encouraged me to do that. So, sorry, I've just talked over while I did something that I haven't said. I got a bit of paint water on my fingers. It was clean. Flicked it onto my page, let it sit for a little bit, lifted it off with a piece of kitchen roll, and you can see, because the distress oxides are water reactive, it lifted the distress oxide ink off the page. Then I have gone in with distress paint through this lovely stencil by Dina Wakley. I think this is called Cover Stencil, or it's mosaic tiles. And one of the things that I really like about these distress oxides is that the colour has leached into the distress paint. So that's the distress paste. Yeah, it's ended up coloured the same as the background. So it's a really nice way to create a sort of textured background, but it's not too stark, it's quite subtle. Then I've just done a bit of stamping over the top of that. And then I wanted to see if it was possible to seal using a thin coat of matte medium. So I'm just using a bigger brayer and just quickly brayering that over the top. Now, obviously, because the distress oxides are water reactive, if you brayer too much, you will move the colours around a fair bit. So you've got to go in quick, and this will seal them a little bit. So you can see there, I decided I didn't like that bit that I'd done, and I was able to rub it off without lifting too much of the background. So now I'm going in with a distress crayon, and this colour is Walnut Stain, and I'm not really a grungy girl when it comes to my art, but I loved watching what Tim did and how he kind of grunged his bright pages up a little bit. So I thought I'd give it a try, because why not? So I'm scribbling a bit on, and then I'm just dampening my finger on a baby wipe just to help move that pigment around a little bit. So you can see I've just kind of grunged that page up. So now I'm using Dina's Alpha Block stencil, and I'm just going to stamp out the words just to play, because that's what I was doing. And yeah, it really inspired me to just play a little bit more, try those what ifs. Obviously, there is a place for both styles of journaling, isn't there? The whole doing what you know you like and trying new things just to see what happens. And I think very much for me, it depends how I'm feeling, what sort of place I'm in, whether I'm in a place where I want to have a play or whether I am just wanting to be in a comfort zone and do something that I know is a predictable outcome. But yeah, I think I have bought some distress paints and I have been playing, and there will be videos coming up sharing things that I've been trying out. So I've stamped those letters onto a piece of Collage Sparks. Obviously the Collage Collective would work. You could equally so just stamp them onto plain cardstock. But I kind of like that there was a little bit of colour on those as well. So then those are going to get stuck onto my page. I'm just using some clear glue. The reason for using that is because my glue sticks have gone missing. I think they've been borrowed, but that's okay. This glue works just as well. And then because I wanted to bring a bit of contrast onto the background to marry up with the white that was on the letters that I've stuck onto the page, I'm just going in with some white dots. I could have used my stamp with some white paint, but because of the texture that I've added using the distress paste, it might not have stamped very well, so it was just as easy to go in with a Posca pen. Now this is the bit where I kind of think I don't really know why I did this, but anyway I did. So I'm using Stoked, one of Dina's neon paints. I'm just adding a little bit of that into the letters. As soon as I'd done it, I thought I wish I'd not done that. And you will see in a little bit, I go back in and add some white over the top. But there we go. You see, I was just playing. I was trying the what ifs, but I actually prefer it without this pink over because it takes that white away, which kind of before the page was quite balanced and it married up quite nicely. But you know, you don't know, do you, until you try these things. So you've got to give it a go. So then I am just doing some sort of sketchy outlines of those letters using a gel pen. This is not a waterproof gel pen. It was just the first one that I grabbed, really. Then some pink splatters because there was some pink left on my desk. And then I was thinking, I don't like this, wish I'd not done that. So here we go, introducing the white back. And I feel immediately that feels a little bit more balanced. And actually just having those little flashes of pink as well does work. It works okay. So yeah, don't be afraid to try things and just think, well, that's okay. Generally, there is a way you can fix things, even if it is just painting over in black gesso and starting again. But yeah, this worked okay. So these are some stamps from Tim Holtz. I think it's called Sentiments or something like that. And there are loads and loads and loads of phrases on there. I was just trying to see if I could find it. I can't put my hand on it at the minute. And I've just picked the one that says be fearless, because sometimes, particularly if you're putting something in a journal, you know, we want it to look good, to look nice, and it's letting go of that and just being fearless and just playing is very important. So I hope you've enjoyed watching me just have a bit of a play, trying some new things out. Maybe it'll inspire you to have a go too. So thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again soon.